Listen up, poop butts!
Southern nights. Have you ever felt the southern nights? Free as the breeze, not to mention the trees. The tunes that you know and love so. Southern nights, just as good as you can close your eyes. I apologize to anyone that can truly say we have found a better way.
Cut!
I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, that's the one thing that's the one regret in my life that I never got to do.
What, rob a bank?
That's right. I still think, in the back of my mind, if I got terminal,
You do it.
I might go do it.
I mean, it truly is the best crime, I believe. You know what I mean? Like,
Other than the people that are maybe traumatized from the event, my aunt was a teller and got robbed.
that's
No, the guy walked up and had a note.
I had a note, right?
And passed the note, and she was like,
Did she give him the money?
she was like, I'm going on break, actually, sorry.
She did that? Oh, that's
and the
great.
guy went to the next.
Yeah. Well, that's the only regret I have as I get older. When I was a kid and robbed the banks, I didn't even think about it. But later, because in my paperwork, I have it all. There are the tellers saying, I can't sleep at night, and you know, I see his face everywhere. And you know, it's like, I ain't trying to scare nobody. You know what I mean? But that's what you got to do to get the money. You can't walk in there and go, here's a flower. Hey, can I have the money?
There was this fucking guy who was my absolute hero up in Washington in the in the 90s.
Oh,
and
no.
They called him Hollywood. And
Was robbing banks?
he was robbing banks, and he had it all worked out because he would rob a bank on a 3-day weekend.
Right.
Right? Because
Right.
people were making their deposits.
Right.
And he would go in at the end of the day.
Right.
He wore prosthetics on his face.
Right, right.
So he
I
had
knew
some
this guy.
experience
Knew
with
of
like,
him.
well, he never made it to
No, but national fame, didn't he?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I think I read about.
On Thanksgiving weekend, he hit a bank and they finally chased him down, and he jumped over a highway barrier and got away, but he got into a trailer.
Yeah, trailer. And
He
then
went
they
into
shot and killed him, right?
Yeah, I think maybe he did
Shot himself.
yeah.
They weren't sure what. I remember that guy.
But he was like an
building a
Olympian.
tree house.
He lived in a tree house.
Yeah,
he was a
yeah, I know
construction
about
worker,
that
and he
guy.
was-
Yeah.
And that was a bummer. I just wanted him to go forever. I wanted him to just keep going.
Well, when they caught me, they were like, Shane, you're really good at this. And I was like, you guys would have caught me on the first one, we wouldn't be sitting here with 29 of them. But you guys were a little slow on the draw. Because, I mean, I was doing them on a bus. I was doing them in cabs. I had
On a bus?
Yeah. I had my girlfriend a block away. Okay, downtown LA. 7th goes this way, 8th goes this way. There's Flower and Figueroa. I don't know if this makes sense, but I had my girl at 8th Street, all the buses, it's one way. All the buses, you can look down 8th Street and you can see 20 buses coming, like 10 blocks away, 8 blocks away. As soon as she saw them, I said, raise your hand. Now I'm at 7th and Flower. So she raises her
It's
hand.
very analog.
I walk into the bank, rob it, come out, and right at the building, there was a split that you could go into the alley. And so the building split, and there was a little thing to go into an alley, and the alley goes parallel all the way down to 8th Street where she is. So I go into the alley, and I take my second pair of clothes off, and so I'm walking out of the alley to the bus stop right as the bus is pulling up. And then I get on the bus, it pulls, it makes a right on Figueroa, and we're literally driving by the bank as the cops are pulling up. Boom, 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 and I'm looking out the bus window. Like, hey, you know, yeah.
Were you
that make
like
sense?
screaming on the inside, or were you sweating?
Freaking,
You were like racing.
freaking.
But you were high as
No,
well.
I was dope sick. That's how it all started.
How do you keep your head straight when you're sick?
You just, I have always been the kind of guy that when I decide to go for something, like, I'll do it in front of everybody. I used to do it in prison. If I decide to make a move,
Right.
I wouldn't be all sneaky about it. I'd go in the chow hall and do it in front of everybody.
Right.
And everyone just freaked because, you know, they're just seeing an insane man. So robbing the banks,
Right.
I would be like, oh my God, I have no money, no way to fucking get a hotel tonight, no way to get any dope, no, you know, I'm gonna get it no matter what. No
Right.
matter what it takes me to get it. And
Right. Did they pin any extras on you?
yes, that's funny that you ask me that.
Because they're always trying to wrap something up.
Okay,
And like,
I told a video kind of about this before, but I knew how much money I got at each bank. If I get $4,623, my indictment would say $8,000, $9,000, $10,000,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, if a teller happened to grab some of the money and is looking out for herself, well, more power to her. But
or
if it's the bank
or
straightening
the
out their
manager.
But if they're straightening out their books at my expense, fuck off.
Are they accounting in like the insurance? Like,
No, they just say he took from this teller $1,800, and the truth was I took $1,200. I mean, I knew what I took.
so you got.
So then
in what year?
when I get caught,
Yeah,
March 17th, 1987.
that's a date you're gonna remember. 19 what?
87.
87.
And so then what happened is I made a deal with them that I would cop to 21 of the 29 banks. But I signed a thing saying that the federal government would not pursue me for any known or unknown bank robberies before that date. So later, if another one came up, they couldn't,
Right.
because I watched them do that to guys. But then what they did, those fuckers, is then they gave them to the state, and the state gave me 9 years for more bank robberies. So I was
What
buried.
did you have to do total?
I did 8 years and 23 days. But I was supposed to do more than
That's
that.
enough to inspire me not to rob a bank.
Yeah, well, see, everyone lied to me. All these bank robbers told me, they're going to give you a youth act, Shane. You'll do a couple of years. And,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's not the way it works. But the way it works with bank robbery is it ebbs and flows. There's periods of time where they give you 25 years. Each count carries 25.
Right.
And then there's a period where they're giving low sentences. You know what I mean? Like, so let's say the 70s are given 25 years. The early 80s are given average for bank robbery was 7 years. Then
It's when mortgage rates are
right.
low.
It equals right. But I don't know why that happens, but it's the get tough on crime, don't get tough on crime thing. So I happened to get caught at the upswing. But
Right.
dudes after me, I knew guys that got one bank robbery got 25 years.
Wow.
One guy I knew had 2 bank robberies, he got 50 years. Thank God they didn't make me do restitution. I'd still be paying
Really?
for all that fucking money.
Oh, my
yeah.
uncles aren't so lucky.
What, they got them restitution?
Oh yeah.
No.
For the rest of their lives.
See, I did really good because the judge, I had 3 judges. The first judge,
If you think that's true, you
What?
there's-
Restitution?
you've only had 3 judges in life.
Oh, no,
I've had
no,
more
ha, ha.
judges than that.
yeah, in those cases, in my bank robberies, and the first judge was Judge Eugene Lynch in San Francisco, and he liked me. They all liked me except for the guy who did my pre-sentence interview, Winston. I shouldn't say his name.
Yeah.
That fucking prick. You want to know why he didn't like me? Because he was a guitar player, and my thing read tattooing and guitar playing.
You had already started tattooing.
Yeah, I'd been tattooing before prison. Yeah. I of course.
Turns out you could make money that way, you know. Here's a story that you will appreciate. I think my dad was involved in some counterfeit stuff, counterfeit money at one point, way back. And one of my younger uncles, the cops came over and like tried to pull him aside and be good cop or whatever. And he's like, hey, look, you know, we don't want to bother your mother, you know, my grandma. We don't want to cause any hassles or anything. You know, did you hear anything? And my uncle said, you know what? I saw Mike in the backyard digging a hole, and he was down there digging a long time. Right over there, about 20 feet from the tree. And so they came over and dug up the whole backyard.
Find
for
anything?
No, because there was nothing
He was
there.
lying, yeah.
He was fucking with him.